What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and in the last Dynasty video, we went through our off-season of Season 2. We went through all of our recruiting, position changes, cutting players, pretty much getting the roster together for the upcoming season, which starts today. This is the preseason video for Season 3. I'm really excited about this team for this season. Going to be a little different in terms of like who's going to get the ball and such, a little bit different terms of philosophy, but the playbook's going to remain the same, and we're still going to have just as much fun, and it's going to be just as challenging. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go over to preseason options. Let's start off with our schedule. Now, this is going to look a little weird. Normally, I have a game in like week 2 going forward, but I actually have 2 open dates, and the only reason I have this is kind of twofold. One is I wanted to make sure we had 11 games on the schedule. That keeps it fair for the rest of the teams in the conference. Having that extra game, if you win it, really boosts your, your team in the BCS polls and such like that. So I want to keep it even keel, but in order for me to do that, I had to maneuver some teams around on the schedule. I originally had a game right here in the week 1, and I'd never like having a week 1 game. But I was able to move it around to the point where I'm able to have an 11-game schedule. So the first couple of weeks are open week and week 1 is usually the same for everybody. There's like maybe 2 games played, but week 2 we're going to be open as well. But let's start off looking at our schedule. As you can tell here, we do have an A+ schedule, and we're going to start off with Colorado. Somebody in the comment section in the off-season video mentioned about recruiting more of the 4 corners, that being Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. And I think that's a pretty cool idea. Plus, it's been a while since I played Colorado. I figured that'd be a fun addition to the schedule. Then we got at number 5, Texas. We got to keep playing them until I can at least beat them once. We've played them 3 straight times, or we're going to. I've lost the first 2. Hopefully we can beat them this go-round. It's still going to be quite the challenge. As you can tell by the ranking, they're really good. But you keep on going on the schedule. We're going to start off our conference schedule with at UCLA, then Stanford at home, and then we're taking a trip up to Washington to take on the number 14 Huskies. We have an open date right in the middle of the schedule, and then you're going to finish out the rest of the schedule with a game against Cal, Oregon State, 20th in the country at home, then at Washington State. We haven't got to play them the last couple of seasons. I'm looking forward to that game. We got USC at home. We're heading to Arizona State, and we're going to end the season with a game against South Carolina at home. We played them last year. They beat us by like 18. I did not forget that. I kind of want to get a little revenge on them if I can. They're still really good. It's going to be quite the challenge. But either way, we got, 5 ranked games on the schedule. Plenty of strength there, to say the least. Again, we got an A+ strength of schedule, and it's going to be the doozy, to say the least, but I'm really excited to get into it. Let's go to Redshirt players. Let's look at our roster for the first time for this upcoming season. Okay. When it comes to redshirting, it's pretty simple, self-explanatory in terms of who I like to redshirt. If you're not going to play at all and you have the eligibility to redshirt, I'm going to. It just gives that person an extra year to help you down the road. But here's our quarterback room. We got Rhodes, Tuitama, the JUCO newcomer, and Chris Burks, and we have the true freshman Andy Williams. I am redshirting Andy Williams. I normally don't redshirt JUCO kids. Burks is going to play some this year. Yes, Rhodes is going to be our starter. He's just got more talent than the other ones. I'm going to give him the chance first. But Burks has got a little bit of some legs to him. He can run a little bit. We're going to give him a package or 2. But we are going to redshirt Andy Williams. When it comes to halfback, very simple. I only had one option, our 5th best halfback, which is the true freshman Mike Parker. We will redshirt him. Then you go to fullback. This is interesting. It lets me redshirt a fullback, even though I only have 2. And our style of offense is the balanced offense, which means I'm supposed to have a minimum of 2 fullbacks on the roster. I want to see if I can get away with this. If Nichols gets hurt, and I pray that he doesn't, I can bring Miranda back, but what little we use of the fullback, at least, with this guy, I think I'm going to try my hand and giving him a red shirt just to give these guys a couple of years difference until I can bring in another fullback. Wide receiver, another simple situation. Our top 5 guys have already been redshirted. Our bottom 2 are 2 true freshmen, Oliver and Will Horn. I'm going to redshirt both. They're not going to be playing any this season, and it's pretty obvious why. Tight end, this is an interesting situation. Now, we got Bell and Kilpatrick. Those are our top two guys, more or less. But we got two freshmen right here, Jasper Smith and Kevin Wimbush. I want to redshirt one of them, not both. I need a third tight end because I play double tight ends, sometimes in our offense. But I wanted to keep one as a backup. They're both the same. You could tell, they got the same speed. They can catch the same. They're pretty much the same type of tight end. I just went ahead and redshirted one of them. It didn't really matter which one I did. So we're going to have Kevin Wimbush, the true freshman, backing up. So you may see him play at least a little bit this year. We'll just see how that goes. When it comes to tackle, another very easy situation. I only had one option to redshirt, and that is John Smith, the sophomore. It's obvious. He is by far our worst tackle. We can go ahead and just redshirt him. You go to guard, another simple situation. Our top four guys have already been redshirted. Our bottom two are true freshmen, and we can redshirt them. We will not need them this season. Center, another great situation. We only have one option to redshirt. That is a true freshman, Daryl Smith. I think he was a guard, and we moved over. And as you can tell, we're not going to need him this year, so we can redshirt him. So a lot of good situations there when you don't have to play so many freshmen. Defensive end, we actually don't have any options other than our top defensive end, Tony Long. Of course, we are not going to redshirt him. He had a fabulous freshman season. He's going to be our starter at left end for the next 2 years at least. So there is no redshirting to be done at this position. Defensive tackle, this was similar to the tackle situation, or actually the tight end situation, I should say, where our top three guys, obviously we can't redshirt those, but we have two freshmen here. I'm going to redshirt one of them because I need to have four active at all times. Defensive tackles tend to get tired a little more easily in this game. So I had to pick one. I went ahead and picked this guy. I think this guy has a better future down the road than Johnson. We'll see what happens with that. So I'm just going to redshirt him. And again, that's just another decent situation to be in. Linebacker, especially the outside linebacker, is a little interesting. Really weird, actually. Justin Vickers, he started at left outside linebacker for us last year, done just fine. Our best freshman coming in is this kid right here, Eric Moore. However, I'm going to redshirt him, even though, yes, it looks obvious he is our best right outside linebacker. I'm redshirting him because if you remember, we had so many decent middle linebackers that played for us last year. Krogstad, obviously, is our starting middle linebacker, but Ronnie Palmer started at right outside linebacker last year and killed it. And you're going to look at that in the depth chart as to why I've done that. So we're actually not going to need Eric Moore this year. We'll definitely probably need him for next season since we got some more upperclassmen. But I went ahead and redshirted another freshman, Tyler Livingston. It's just either one who you want to redshirt there. I just went ahead and just picked one, more or less. But I got to have four active. It shows we're going to have three active, but of course we got a bunch of middle linebackers that's going to help us out there. So that's what we're going to do there. Middle linebacker, there's nobody to redshirt here, so that's pretty simple. Corner, I like to have four active at least, and this guy is by far the worst. This was a bit of a, I want to say a disappointment. He was a three-star kid in the regular season, but just turned out to be not much of nothing. But at least he's fast and he's tall, so maybe down the road he can help us out, but it's definitely not going to be this season. You look at our roster well enough to where I think I could play even more dime this year than I did last year, so I'm really excited about that. Free safety, this is another situation that's similar to the fullback unit. It lets me redshirt the backup, which I find it very interesting. Now, we got a junior and a sophomore. I'd like to have a 2-year separation between the two, just for depth purposes down the road. And this guy will never play unless either Patrick gets hurt or we have mop-up duty and such. It's going to let me redshirt him, so I'm going to. The reason why it's going to let me do that, well, I shouldn't say that. It's mainly because we have cornerbacks, you're going to look at this in the depth chart, to where corners and even strong safeties can kind of slide over to free safety if need be. So we'll just see. If Patrick can stay healthy all year, then this will be a good decision. But if he gets hurt, we'll gladly just take the red shirt off of Prince and we'll be fine. But strong safety, no red shirting to be done here. Everybody has already redshirted. We got our true freshman kicker. We're definitely not going to redshirt him. And we got our true sophomore punter. Our only punter, we're not going to redshirt him. So those are the redshirt situations. Now that you've seen that, let's go over to rosters. And let's look at the depth chart. We'll go over here, depth chart. And starting off a quarterback, Paul Rhodes will be our starting quarterback. Again, he's just more talented than the other ones. I'm praying that he plays well for us. It would be in everybody's best interest if he just takes over the position and dominates. We'll see if he can do that. But if for whatever reason he can't, little Willie Tuitama played great backing up last year. I thought he played just fine. So we have a decent backup option. But we also have the JUCO player in Chris Burks. He's going to get a package or two. Pretty much the way I like to do package plays is pretty much give him a formation and just let him run with it. So all three of these guys, we'll definitely see Rhodes start, of course. Burks is going to have his couple formations, if that. But then Tuitama, he's going to be right there waiting just in case Rhodes isn't ready to do his job. Halfback, very simple. Chris Henry, he's our best player on the team in terms of overall talent. Then we got Long Bonza Smith, no different than what we saw last season, except I think Henry's going to get the ball just a little bit more often. But Long Bonza Smith will get a touch or two down the road. You go to fullback, our first impact player is Paul Nichols. I mean, I wish Henry was the impact player and not Nichols. I guess I could go on the back end and fix that. I really don't want to. I kind of consider that cheating, and I just don't want to do it. But we done fine with Nichols being an impact player last year. We gave him what? Like 6 touchdowns? No, how many touchdowns? He had 10 touchdowns last year. So I may do with him being an impact guy. Now, one thing that will improve is he's going to get on the field a whole lot more. We're going to play a lot more with the weak formations. We're going to make sure he gets out in the field. It's just only going to help us that he is out there. But when it comes to the backup fullback spot, remember we're redshirting our backup. We got Smith, our third string halfback there. Again, that's just mop-up duty, second string type stuff. Wide receiver, we're going to have a bunch of new cats here. Anthony Johnson is going to be our X receiver. He's our new Vickers. Mike Marks is going to be our new Z receiver. He's 6'6", 193, and he has by far the best jumping ability of anybody on the team, at least that wide receiver. I want him. We do a lot of deep ball stuff with that Z receiver, so I'm going to put him out there. And our slot receiver, I tend to have or want somebody with some speed there. And our fastest guy is little Michael Thomas. Really excited to see what he can do with more action. Now, you notice with Marks is a 76 overall, but we have a couple other guys, 78 and whatnot. So we got 3 guys that could compete for a couple of these spots. They're all, like this McCoy here kid. He's got 91 speed, and, he could very well play the Z receiver or maybe even the X. But for now, this is what I'm going to do. But you notice 82, 76, 80, and 78 and 78. Not bad. And our tight ends, we got one pretty decent one. At least I think he's going to be just fine. And Travis Bell at 82 overall. And then it's pretty simple. It's Kilpatrick and then Kevin Wimbush. So, yes, we got extra bodies at tight end, but it's still pretty obvious that our wide receiver group is more talented than the tight end group. So we'll think about that when we start calling plays in our future games. Offensive line, this is going to be pretty self-explanatory. We got Halls at left tackle, played great for us last year at senior now. Then we got our junior, Eddie Roman. We had a bit of a controversy, kind of a tight situation with Roman and Hansen. But I went with Roman because his run blocking and his pass blocking is just better than Hansen. The only reason why Hansen is just right there with him at the overall is because he's a little bit stronger, actually a lot stronger. So we'll see how that plays out. But for now, we're going to have Roman play left guard. Then you go to center. This was another sticky situation. You got Curley and Jackson. I went with the one that was a little bit stronger and who was the better blocker. As you can see here, Curley's a much better pass blocker and a much better run blocker. So that was an obvious decision for that one. Right guard, he's probably our best interior lineman, Joe Longacre. I'll try to remember that. I'll try to run to the right a little bit more just because of that, as good as he is. Then we got right tackle, Peter Graniello, 87 overall, and we got a decent backup behind him. So our tackles are really going to be good this year. And they're both seniors, so we got to make full use of them. Defensive end, pretty simple. We got our left ends. Long's going to start, and then we're going to have Turner at right end with Parker behind him. No different than what we had it last year. Then you go to defensive tackle, pretty self-explanatory. You just got your top guys, Dodson, Barnett, and then Wilson, and then our true freshman at Johnson. You got a linebacker, outside linebacker at left, and that is Justin Vickers. No change there. We got a McCoy, middle linebacker, backing him up. You go to middle linebacker, very simple. Krogstad. Then you got Palmer behind him, but Palmer is our starting right outside linebacker, so nothing has changed with our linebacker unit. Going to be our biggest strength on defense, I think. Maybe outside of our front four, that's pretty strong as well. But you look at the corners, they all came back. Kaysen, Fontenot, Deloach, and then we got Singleton. Just a good situation to be in. If you remember, it seemed like ages ago when we had such bad depth at cornerback. Now we're getting a little bit better there, but we got a couple seniors. Hopefully we can replace them next year and not miss a beat. You go to free safety, Patrick. Obvious situation there. We're going to have Singleton. He is, if I'm not mistaken, our fourth best corner. But when you come over here and you look at the depth chart, he is, I mean, by far our best situation here to be as a backup free safety. Yes, I can have Case in there, but I don't want any starters backing up unless we have to. Again, it just comes down to Patrick staying healthy. Hopefully he can. So we're going to keep Singleton there. Strong safety, very self-explanatory. Kleiss, Tatum, and Claret. Now, Kleiss is going to be over Tatum. He's not as fast, but he's, what was it? I saw something. He's a better tackler. I think that was it. Either way, I would rather have him start. I think it was, I mean, either him or Tatum could play. We'll just see how that works. I'm more than willing to start any of these guys, so we may rotate that a little bit. But it's going to be Kleiss or Tatum. But for now, I don't mind keeping Kleiss there. Now, one thing I wish this game could do better is my defense, the safeties are interchangeable in terms of the responsibilities. Like a lot of them going into coverage, a lot of them defending, just things of that nature. And I wish strong safeties could easily transfer over to free safety and vice versa, but they don't, so you got to deal with it. Last but not least, we got our special teams kicker, pretty self-explanatory, and our punter, pretty self-explanatory there. Long snapper, okay, yes, kick return and punt return. Michael Thomas is still going to be our main guy. Then we got Deloach, so it's no different than last season. Long bonds backing them up. So same at punt return. Then you go over to kickoff starter. We're going to have our punter just because he's got just a little bit better leg. And then long snapper, I always like to put the backup center there. When it comes to your captains, I always like to talk about this. It's always by awareness and seniority. So you got a senior who's the smartest on the team. That is Krogstad. And as you can tell, he is already a team captain. Next up is your offensive team captain, and it's going to be Peter Graniello. Again, senior awareness, super high. Okay, actually need to go back. When you look at the program standards, I'm hoping and praying that we get some people in trouble. We got to over-discipline because this thing is getting a little scary. It's getting to the point where we need to start worrying a little bit. We need some players getting in trouble early, not at the end of the season where we can barely punish them. So fingers crossed, hopefully it's a backup that never plays and we can redshirt or we can discipline him like the entire season. But we got plenty of discipline points to work with this year, so I think we're going to be fine there. All right, what is next? I think we're ready to go to Athlon Sports and look at some things here. Preseason polls. You got Michigan, Florida, Ohio State, Virginia, Texas, USC, so on and so forth. They have us 23rd in the country. We kind of floated around this spot all last season. Looks like we're still here. And you go over to Heisman Watch. Top 5, Blake Mitchell. Remember last year we played them. He just destroyed us. Just a really good quarterback. They're predicting him to win the whole thing. And hopefully at the end of the season, maybe we can ruin his dreams of winning a Heisman by shutting him down or something. But we got a bunch of quarterbacks here and a wide receiver. Maybe we can get Henry on this list if I run the ball enough. We'll see. Let's go to preseason All-Americans. Starting off, I don't know if we would have anybody on this list as a first team. I'm just quickly looking through it. Second team, probably not as well. If any of those receivers would have come back, that could have been a possibility like Vickers, but it obviously didn't happen. So no All-Americans, but we can go over to the All-Conference preseason list. And there is Thomas, and maybe that's only because of a special team situation, but they're expecting him to have a big year, and I think he will too. Keep on going. Do we have anybody? Yes we do. Krogstad, well-deserved. I'm hoping he becomes an All-American this year. You better believe it. We're going to blitz him a lot. That worked really well for us last season. And Kaysen, I feel like he's been here for 100 years. He's still our top corner, and I'm looking for him to have a really solid season this year. You go to the second team, Henry. Our season, I think, is going to be defined by how well this kid plays. If he plays well, our running game is solid, then I think we're going to have a really good season. A lot of it's going to be based on this cat making some plays. So really excited to see him on that list. Hopefully he'll make the first team at the very least at the end of the year. Then we got Keith Deloach. A lot of that was due to blitzing, getting some sacks, some special teams. So it's pretty cool to see him on there. So at least like the country is kind of thinking our secondary is going to be pretty solid. We'll see how that goes. Let's go over to conference outlook. Our first season, we won the conference. Our second season, we finished second. Here, they're thinking we're going to finish fourth. I'm thinking we'll finish around through there this year unless we just play super well. Fingers crossed, hopefully we can do that. Then you round out the rest of the conference. UCLA, Stanford, Cal, Arizona State, and Washington State. And I have to bring this up while we're here. The whole conference realignment chaos, it's just, I don't know. I still have to think about my feelings on it. It's very mixed. It's just weird seeing USC, Washington, Arizona, UCLA, Arizona State, and Oregon are no longer in the Pac-10 or 12. It's just goofy. It's crazy. It's all about money. It is what it is, but you kind of got to deal with it. All right, let's go to toughest places to play. There's not much to see here. I don't think we'll ever have our stadium on there. It'd be cool if we did. We're going to have to win a bunch of more home games. I think we're ready to go and do a little recruiting. How about you? Let's go and into in-season recruiting. Let's look at our roster as a whole. This is a similar situation that we had last year. We only had a handful of spots left. Looks like we got 12 if nobody leaves early, transfers, nothing like that. So our class is still going to be kind of small in general. But looks like we really need a fullback. We really need a corner. But let's just see what we can find. Now, starting off, I always like to look at the pipeline states, and we got to remember of our recruiting rules. The only 4- and 5-star kids I can go after are in-state players and strong safeties. If you remember my All-American rule, if I get or produce a first or second team All-American at the end of the season, I get to open up that position to recruit whoever I want. And we only had one All-American so far, and that was Lamont Means. So we're going to look at the strong safeties pretty hard going forward. And we got to think of our pipeline states. So let's look at that. Let's go over and look at some pipeline states. Fingers crossed. How many 4- and 5-stars kids do we have in state? Let's look. So we got a defensive tackle, an outside linebacker, a halfback, middle linebacker, a cornerback. Wow, so we got like 5 4-star players in our home state. I see we're so limited in terms of the 4- and 5-star kids we can go after. I honestly don't mind going after all 5 of those. I'm always up for going after defensive tackles. You just need bodies there as always. So you look at our list. We only got 4 defensive tackles coming back. I think this guy would be a perfect redshirt opportunity next season. So I'm going to go ahead and just go after him. Actually, let's just go look at each position first. Quarterback, 3-star kid. We are good at quarterback for a while. I'm not going to bother, even though I'd like to look and see if he's got a decent arm. Halfback, 4-star kid. You go look at our list. We got 4 halfbacks coming back, but I'm not going to give up an opportunity to possibly get a really good in-state halfback. So let's just go ahead and put a scholarship on him. You go to fullback, nobody there. Wide receiver, tight end, tackle, guard, center. A 3-star center. He's actually got decent strength to him. His squat's not bad for a center, but he's really small. And we already got like 3 centers there. I don't know if he'd come in and like start right away. I'm guessing he won't. So I'm going to bypass him for now. Defensive end, I kind of like this kid, 4'6'5", and I like his size. And now he appears to be as dumb as bricks, no offense to him. But we got 6 defensive ends already. We really don't need anybody there, so I'm going to pass on that. Defensive tackle, this guy's a little bit undersized for my liking, and he's not the strongest. But again, I just need good bodies. I think he could be decent. I'm going to go ahead and put a scholarship on him. Again, you can never have too many defensive tackles since they get tired so easily. Outside linebacker, we already picked up a guy. You look here, we got 5 outside linebackers coming back. Only 3 middle linebackers, but I at least want to put a scholarship on him. Look, he's really smart. He's really fast. That's the type of outside linebacker I need because our linebackers do a lot of man coverage. I'm going to go ahead and just put one on him. You go to middle linebacker, 4-star kid. You go back and look at our list. We have only 3 coming back. I think this guy would be an ideal future starter for us. Lawrence Hall, we got a 3-star kid right here, but this guy's a little quicker and a little smarter, and I definitely want to take a chance on him. So let's put one. on him. You go to corner, 4-star. You can never have too many corners. You look at our list. We actually need at least one corner. So it's an obvious situation. We'll go after him. I wish he was a little faster. I wish he was a little taller, but he's super smart. He may be able to jump high. You just never know. And it looks like he's kind of strong, too. I mean, almost 500 on a squat. That seems really high for a corner. He's probably really good on press situations. Let's go ahead and put a scholarship on him. Free safety, no. Strong safety, no. So we're already down to 7 scholarships. Let's look at the rest of our pipelines. We only should have 2. We got California. We'll quickly go through these. And it should be Texas, and that is it. But one thing I want to do is recruit the other close states that are part of the 4 corners. But let me go over to Texas just to make sure it's still a pipeline, and it is. That's good. And we'll just make sure the rest of them are not, and they are not. So we got Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico, but we got to focus on California and Texas first. So let's go over to California. And let's just start off here. Quarterback, I don't really need anybody. I'm just going to pass on that. Same with halfback. Again, only 3-star kids here for now until I can open something up at some of these positions. But we're already going after 1 halfback, so I think we're fine there. Fullback, this guy's too slow. And you go look at our list, we definitely need a fullback. I don't mind getting a true fullback here. Yes, I could probably convert a halfback over, but I'm perfectly fine just getting a true fullback and not have to wait a year for that guy to make that transition. But this guy's too slow for me. I need somebody with at least a little bit of speed who can get ahead and block for us some. So we're going to pass on him. Wide receiver, we got 2 3-star kids. Neither one's very smart. 6'1", 180, 6'6", 205. And that guy's got a really good squat rating to him. But you look at our wide receiver situation, it's just we got plenty there. So I'm going to wait on that one for now. Let's just keep going. Tight end, we got bodies here. I mean, I kind of like what I'm seeing here with this kid, 4'6", He's really small, though. I'm going to pass on him. Let's look at tackle. It looks like we only got 3 tackles. We need to go find us another good tackle. We can only do 3 stars, so, okay, 470, 655 for that kid. We may go back and look at him later. 470, 655. I'm actually going to go ahead and write his name down so I don't have to remember later. Let's just go tackle. Let's see. So this kid right here, it's going to be L. Sanders. I should have brought up my little recruiting notes on my Excel file, but that's okay. He is out of California. I'm going to put that down. So we're going to look at that, and he is, let me just put 470, 655. That's what I really want to care about. Guard, no. Center, 5-star, can't do it. Defensive end, tackle, linebacker. We're already going after that one outside linebacker in state, so I don't need to look at that. Same with middle linebacker. Corner, I'm kind of picky here if I can find somebody that's super tall and fast. Looks like the only thing I'm seeing here is this kid right here, 6'2", but he's really slow for a corner, 4'48". Not a big fan of that, so I'm going to pass on that. Free safety, we can't do that. Strong safety, this is the one position we got the floodgates open for us. Here is a 4-star kid, Kyle James. I like his height. I like his smarts. He's not as strong as this guy. And they're both about this. Wow, this guy's actually a little bit better, I think. I mean, he's just not as smart, but he's stronger, just a tad slower. So, like, which one do you go after? I kind of like this kid more, to be honest. That strength can go a long way to be able to tackle better and whatnot. I think I'm going to go after both. Let's just go ahead and do that. And I know it says I don't need strong safeties, but I don't mind taking a chance there, especially since that's the only position we can go 4- and 5-star out of state. Let's go to Texas. We got 5 spots left. And I may have to maneuver some things here in a little bit, just depending on what we can find. All right, Texas, halfback. The only thing we need to look at is fullback. Here's a 3-star. Okay, this guy's not terrible. Anthony Culler, 6'3", 256, 4'88". That's still not super fast. But I'm actually... I think I may go ahead and take a chance on him. That's probably fast enough. I wish he was a little smarter. I'm actually going to pass on that. Fullback's not the most important thing. We can always make do. Wide receiver, 4-star. Can't do that. We don't need a tight end. Tackle. This is another situation. Okay, here's what I'm liking right here. This guy is strong. Look at his squat. His squat is incredible for a 3-star kid. He's smart. I just like every bit of what I'm seeing here. Look, he's tall. He's heavy. He's strong. He's smart. He's tall. He's heavy. He's strong. We're definitely going to go after that guy. I'm going to put one on him for sure. Guard, 3-star, but we're kind of okay at guard. We got, 6 guys there, so I'm fine. Center, 3-star, and just another one. I don't know if he'll ever play for us, and we got average centers, but I still don't know. I can't imagine him just coming in and just picking it up right away. Defensive end, no, we can't do that. Here's a 3-star. Defensive tackle, 5'11". Just let me look here. 6'20". He's actually stronger and heavier than that other guy that's in state. I'm going to go ahead and put one on him. Outside linebacker, we're good there. Middle linebacker, we're good. Corner, unless we can find somebody super, like, okay, this kid right here. 6'3", 175. He's tall, he's fast, and he's not dumb, at least. We got another kid right here, 6 feet, 185, a little slower, but a little stronger and much smarter. So it's like, who do you go for? I really like this one. I'm going to go ahead and take a chance on that guy. Free safety, strong safety. Here's a 4-star, I think I may go ahead and put one on him. Again, of our strong safety situation. I definitely like that kid. The other one, I love his size, but he's super slow. This kid right here is the real deal. Oh my gosh, I'd love to have him. All right, so we got one scholarship left. I could probably go over to, let me back out. I'm going to go to all. And I'm going to go to strong safety. I need to look at targets. Targeted, let's go to strong. Yeah, targeted. We got these two guys. I'm going to go after those two. This other kid. Okay, I'm going to leave him on there. So the only thing we got left is a one scholarship. We can go to Colorado, Utah, and New Mexico and see what we can find. How about that? First of all, I'm going to go to Colorado. And Colorado actually produces some okay talent, it appears. But let's look. Quarterback, no. Halfback, fullback, receiver, 3-star. I like his height and I like his speed. I don't know if he can catch, though. What's a big need for us? It's still at fullback. Do we have a fullback there? No. Tight end, tackle. Find somebody that's just a little bit different than the rest. We've already gone after a couple of defensive tackles. Outside linebacker, let's see. Free safety, 3-star, but he's super slow. Corner, can't do that. Here's no strong safeties. Let's go over to New Mexico. We'll go over here, and we'll go to all. And there's literally only one player in New Mexico that's worth looking at, and he's a 4-star, so we can't do it. Wide receiver. If he's a strong safety, I'd look at him. Last but not least, let's go over to Utah. Maybe there'll be something here. We picked up 2 Utah players in the last class. Maybe we can find somebody here. So we got 2 guards, 4. Okay, so we got a 3-star right tackle. We got a tight end, 4.82. That's okay. Then we got this kid here, Robbie Pratt, a fullback. He's actually a little smarter and a little faster than the other guy. I'm going to go ahead and put a scholarship on him. Okay, I guess it's exactly 12 guys that we're going after. So I like that. I think we put enough scholarships on the needs that we are looking for. So I think we're done with that. So let's go over to play week, and we're going to sim the first week. That way we can do some recruiting. And then we're going to sim the second week because we don't have a game. And then at the end, we're going to look at the playbook just a little bit. I'm not even going to go to the practice mode or anything. But let's go over to in-season recruiting. And I'm going to probably stick to the same philosophy I've used for the last couple of years. Just go after 4 or 5 guys and really hammer it home. So let's see if we can find this. See, this is a good situation. We're already a #1 spot for the top guy on this list in terms of talent, the strong safety, Will McDonald. But what we want to look for is, boom, a positive pitch. That's what we want to see right there. Good, lucky guess, Al. So we're going to go after him. We'll put 20 for now. The rest of these, I need to look for a positive pitch. Let's see. Are we seeing one? Anybody else? Here's one right here. Outside linebacker, Al Tidwell. I love his. He's smart. He's fast. He's what I'm looking for, an outside linebacker, a true outside linebacker. So let's just go ahead and put one on him. He could be probably a red shirt for us next year. Let's look at this corner. No. And looks like that is it in terms of the positive pitches. But we found 2, which is good. So now it comes down to finding like 3 other guys we really like and going from there. So here's his defensive tackle, the 4-star kid, the local product. I wish he was a little heavier, and I wish he was a little stronger. But they got him as a 4-star kid for whatever reason. So just let me look some more. Strong safety, Kyle, like this guy would be an ideal fit. But 4.46 compared to this guy right here, I think he's just a better player. So I'm not going to go after him. Corner, he's not the tallest I was looking for. He's not the fastest. So I think I'm going to bypass him. You go to the middle linebacker. He's not the biggest, but he's smart and he's fast. And we need some guys who can move around out there. I actually want this kid, and we actually need some help there. So let's go and put 20 on him. This halfback, let's see. Ooh, look at this. He's got A-plus hands. He's not the fastest in the world, but I don't need the most speedy guys out there. I just need somebody who could break a tackle or two and, you know, just kind of make plays. I really like what I'm seeing here with him, and he's a 4-star halfback. Let's just go and put 20 on him. And we got another spot left. Let's go look at this corner. Ben Harrell. I like his height and I like his speed, so he's a very good possibility of going after him. Fullback. Do I need to waste time and recruiting points on a fullback regular season? No offense to that position, but it's just not the most important, so I think I may skip it. Aaron Johnson, tackle. This kid just looks... He just looks like the real deal, and you can't have too many tackles. I'm going to go ahead and put 20 on him, and that's probably going to be it. Defensive tackle, this kid right here, I technically don't need. It was cool to have, and the worst guy out of the whole bunch is this strong safety, but we're already going after the very top guy in Will McDonald. So am I done? Am I happy with what I'm seeing here? We got a strong safety, a middle linebacker, and you look here, we need help at middle linebacker. We don't need help at outside linebacker. That's the only thing. I would like to put points either on... See, do I put points on this outside linebacker, or do I put it on this guy right here? We need more help at corner. I'm hoping that we'll have a corner interested us in the offseason. You just never know what you're going to find. I think that's just a tough call. I could split that up, but I really don't want to. I don't want to go beyond 5. So it's either him or, you know, see this kid, 4-4-3, 4-3-3, B, A, 495. This guy's super weak. Man, I probably... I may just let me look at the vertical. 38-1, 40. This guy's just a better athlete. I don't know. Oh, this is kind of tough. So strong safety, middle linebacker, that's a need. So I definitely want to keep him. The Larson kid, do I really need a halfback, honestly? I got a bunch of young guys there. Is he good enough to come in? I think he's a future starter for us. I just really like everything he's got there. I want to keep him. Left outside linebacker. We probably don't need him. I hate to say it, but he's smart and he's fast. Oh gosh, that's just a really tough call right there. I think what I may do is just split this up. So let's go. We're gonna go 15. I don't normally do this, but we'll see if this doesn't hurt us too badly. I'm gonna go 15. I'm gonna keep 20 on that strong safety. We need him. So between these two corners, I think I'm gonna go after this kid. He's smarter and he's stronger. He won't get beat off the press as much. And we both are going to kind of... Looks like we're struggling for both of those corners. We just got to go after one of them. I want just one. That's just a really tough call. One's out of Texas. One's the local kid. Oh, gosh. Let me just go ahead and... I'm going to go after... Let's go after smarts. Let's just do that. No, I want to go after... No, here's what I forgive me for having a hard time here. I'm going to go after this kid. For recruiting, it keeps more Texas players on the roster. He's just a better athlete. If he was dumber, I would do something different there, but we don't have to. So there we go. We are going to go after 6 guys. I'm going to keep 20 on that kid. We're going to do 15 across the board for these other ones. We're going to go 16, 16, 16, and 16. So there you go. We're going to go after 6. We're going after McDonald, the strong safety. Middle linebacker, Lawrence Hall. Halfback, Larson, really excited for him. Or about him, I should say. Al Tidwell, the outside linebacker. Corner, Ben Harrell. And right tackle, Aaron Johnson. I'm really excited about that guy. We got to keep going after him. All right, so the last thing I just want to talk about before we leave is our playbook. Nothing's going to change in terms of the playbook, the formations. But what we are going to do is I'm going to go to Audible just to show you this. We're going to go here and... We're going to do some packages with our quarterback. We're going to put Burks, that JUCO speedster, in here at a couple of formations, either there and maybe at ace tight. But we're going to do a lot more of this. We're going to do a lot more weak. I got to get my fullback out there more. We're going to get him out there more with weak twin tight ends, weak tight, and weak slot. So we're going to see a lot more of this. The last couple of years, we've been a lot of ace-oriented. mainly because we had such really good receiving core. Well, that's gone. They're still okay, but just not as good. So we'll see what happens with all of that. So we still got a couple things to do, though. We're not done. Let's go to Play Week. Let's go to Sim this week. We can look at some top 25 scores. Now, this week is going to hurt us because we're not playing. That's just part of the course, you know. But I wanted to make sure I get down to 11 games and not 12. So we're going to speed this up. We're going to look at the top 25, and then we'll do a little bit more recruiting. And we're going to go here. Let's go to the top 25. And in week 2, it looks like we had Auburn winning, and then Nebraska, Miami, Iowa. Then you go to Michigan, West Virginia, A&M, Oklahoma. Then you got USC, Virginia, Florida, Texas over Utah. Almost had Utah on the schedule. Tennessee got upset big time by Cal. That was a blowout. Then Vandy beat Louisiana Monroe. Washington won. Oregon State won. Then you have Virginia Tech over LSU. Then Georgia. Then UCLA. So no really big upsets except for one last I saw. So let's go back to in-season recruiting. Hopefully this doesn't hurt us too badly, but you go to the strong safety. We're in great shape for him. We're going to keep a 20 there. We're going to see some down arrows for a couple of these kids, like this middle linebacker. We went down, but I'm not too worried about that. We just got to win some games. I think we're going to be fine. And we're figuring out what he doesn't like at least. Next up, we got halfback Wesley Larson. We're in great shape for him. Just don't know what he's into yet. Outside linebacker Tidwell. We're going down on his list, but we got the positive pitch. We got to keep after him. Next up, we got corner Ben Harrell. We just don't know what he's into yet, but we went up on his list, which is a good thing. And last but not least, we have right tackle Aaron Johnson. We're in great shape. Number 1 on his list. Everything's really looking good there, and we're starting to figure out what he is not into at least. So recruiting's going to look pretty interesting. Hopefully we can get all 6 guys. That would be a good base for the class because we don't have a whole lot of space. Anyways, if we got all 6 of them, we'd only have 6 spots left unless I over-recruited, which I try not to do, but sometimes you have no choice. That is it. I think we are ready to take on Colorado. In our next video, we're going to kick off our season with a game against the Buffaloes. This is a Big 12 battle in real life. That's one of the reasons why I picked them, and I think it'll be neat. That for recruiting purposes, I know it doesn't affect, the game doesn't understand me going after Colorado kids, but I thought that'd be a nice little storyline. They run a pro-style offense and a 4-3 defense from what I remember. They're 0-1. I didn't see who they got beat by. But should be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get the season going. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.